The night my ex-wife laughed at me in front of everyone, I thought I had finally hit the lowest point of my life. My hands were shaking, my son was clinging to my leg, and the room was filled with people who once knew me when I still had dreams. I didn't know that within minutes, the man I worked for, the billionaire I thought barely knew my name, would walk in, and change everything, but before he did, I had to survive the humiliation that nearly broke me. I almost turned around at the reunion door. I should have. Because the moment I stepped inside, my past stood up, smiled cruelly, and decided to destroy me in front of everyone I once tried to impress. That I hadn't planned to attend the reunion. Life as a single dad didn't leave much room for nostalgia. Between overtime shifts, school lunches, and pretending I wasn't exhausted all the time, going back to face people who remembered me as the guy with potential felt pointless. But my son, Noah, had begged me. He wanted to see where I went to school. He wanted to see proof that his dad had once been more than just tired eyes and worn shoes. So I went. Cheap blazer. Old car. Pride carefully stitched together with hope. The room was loud with laughter and success stories. Former classmates showed off watches, partners, achievements. Then she walked in, my ex-wife, Laura, perfectly dressed, confident, glowing. The same woman who left when things got hard. The same woman who said I'd never amount to anything. At first, she ignored me. That hurt more than acknowledgement. Then someone asked how life had treated us. She smiled sweetly and said, loud enough for the room to hear, well, I remarried well. And she looked at me, eyes scanning my worn shoes, my son's hand in mine. He's still struggling. Single dad. Still chasing survival, not success. Laughter followed. Not cruel laughter, worse. Pity. I tried to respond, but my throat closed. Noah looked up at me, confused. That broke me more than the laughter ever could. Laura didn't stop. She asked where I worked. When I answered, she smirked. An assistant? At your age? Then she leaned closer and whispered, I told you you'd never win. I wanted to disappear. I wanted the floor to swallow me whole. Years of effort, sacrifice, sleepless nights, reduced to a punchline. That's when the room went quiet, not slowly. Instantly, the silence wasn't because of me. It was because the man who owned the building had just walked in, and he was looking straight at me. The doors opened, and in walked my boss. Tall. Calm. Impeccably dressed. The billionaire CEO of the company where I worked, quietly, efficiently, invisibly. The man everyone admired from afar. He scanned the room, then smiled, and then he said my name. He walked straight past the crowd, past the laughter, past my ex-wife's frozen smile, and stopped in front of me and my son. He knelt down to Noah's level and said, so this is the young man I keep hearing about. I couldn't breathe. He stood and faced the room. This man, he said, placing a hand on my shoulder, is not an assistant. He's the reason half my company runs smoothly. He's the most disciplined, honest, and resilient employee I've ever had. Laura's face drained of color. Then my boss did something I'll never forget. He told them my story, the nights I stayed late to finish projects after picking up my son, the times I turned down promotions because I needed flexible hours, the reason I never complained. He said, success isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet sacrifice. The room erupted, not in laughter, but applause. Laura tried to speak, but there was nothing left to say. That night didn't magically make my life perfect. But it gave me something I hadn't felt in years, validation. Dignity. Hope. My boss later offered me a leadership role, not because of revenge or spectacle, but because he had always seen my worth. As we left the reunion, Noah squeezed my hand and said, Dad, they were wrong about you. And for the first time in a long time, I believed it too. Sometimes life humiliates you before it honors you. Sometimes the people who laugh the loudest don't know how close you are to winning. Stay steady. Stay kind. Stay strong. Because the right moment doesn't arrive with noise, it arrives with truth, and when it does, it changes everything.